Calvin Castine in beautiful downtown Ellenburg Corners. It's the 20th day of May 2005. And we're going to see if we can get a little more light. There we go, a little more light on the subjects here. Got some beef cattle out underneath the big top. We're at the annual FFA Northern Adirondack. FFA. Dairy and overall. What do we have here? Crossing people out. We should be adding people. We rely heavily on the announcers here to keep us surprised of what's happening. It's the school fair, it's called. It's the Northern Adirondack Central School FFA School Fair. It's something that we spend most of our time concentrating on the dairy part of it, but we will try to sneak around and look at some of the small animals and some of the other things that are taking place, and hopefully come away with knowing a little more than we knew when we started today. In the senior showmanship, it's Shelby Pombrio, Carly Sorrell, and Tyler Pombrio. A couple of Pombrios and a Sorrell out there. Now I'm going to guess that Tyler's the fellow with the hat on. That would leave Shelby and Carly for the other two. And we've got something new here. We've got sticks added here. We have sticks added. I've never seen this before here. A new addition to cow showing. And also the showing that we've shown here. I'm repeating myself, but most of the fitting and showmanship that we have presented in the past has been dairy cattle. So presenting a beef animal is different than presenting a dairy animal, because in a dairy cow you want to show the dairiness, and for the beef you want to show the beefiness of the animal. The judge is Brian Akima from Chenango Forks, New York. Also a little struggle to get a picture here because the bright sunshine is outside of the tent and the participants are under the tent in the shade, so a little difficult at times to get a picture. So what we've done is pushed our backlight button on the camera, and hopefully that will help us to see who's out there. Beautiful day, temperature in the upper 50s. As this begins, it will be into the 60s before too long. And we've had some cold weather, we've had some windy weather, we've had a lot of rainy weather, and we've had some bright sunny days. And talking with Don McNeil a couple days ago, I wanted to make sure that I knew about the dairy show, and he reminded me of the day that the blistering sun was here and I came without a cap, and he rescued me by giving me a cap, an extra cap he had to wear. Because in northern New York in mid-May you don't have a suntan yet, so it's a good day to get a sunburn. You're out here for the first time in the sun.
Are they getting him a mic?
A lot of things happening here at the Ellenburg School. A big tent over there with all the animals in. When I arrived a few minutes ago, the cows are still being...
Somebody could have told me the cows were coming at me. I didn't realize.
We have a cattle crossing sign here. A lot of things going on. The cows, heifers and calves are all kept under the big tent over there until there's time for them to come into the little tent here. The students, I'm eating sawdust as I talk. Students from throughout the school and come out during the course of the day. There's our old buddy Marvin Misak. And maybe not every week, but at least once a month, somebody come up to me and tells me how much they enjoyed the... I got you getting run over. Tell me how much they enjoyed the show we did with Marvin and his father Jimmy Misak. In 1994, Bob Ben and I went to Misak Road and did a show. But they never tell me about Marvin. They always talk about his father Jimmy, and Jimmy Misak was a classic person in the North Country, and just him taking us around, and the way Bob enjoyed that program so much, it made for our all-time most popular program that we've ever done, and that's why we run it every Thanksgiving. There's a cattle washing area over here. No car wash here in Ellenburg, but they do have a cow wash. Burgers being sold. The FFA tries to raise a few bucks during the course of all this. So they do sell stuff. We'll be hopefully going inside the barn shortly, and after this showmanship is over, and we'll be looking at the small animals. Judge is talking to the participants. He has them lined up. Usually, but not always, means that he's decided his picks, so we don't know which direction he's going here. Looks like the boy's in the middle either way. Whatever. It's like he's number 2 no matter which direction this judge is lining these up. I got to find out more about these cattle prods here. That's something entirely different. Not sure if that's going to be standard procedure. Of course, those aren't battery operated. Those are just sticks, metal sticks. Not the shocker type of cattle prod. Just a little nudger to get their attention, to get them to move their feet, apparently. But we'll find out more about that as the day progresses. Well, after 7 minutes and 48 seconds of no sound, you'll probably be wondering what's going on here, and I'll fill you in. We're at the Northern Adirondack Dairy Show, and I had my microphone plugged into the earphone category in the class thing, and may have picked up a little sound from the on-camera microphone, but that's about it. So we won't repeat everything we've said, because chances are you've heard part of it, but we now have our external mic plugged into the right spot, and we should have good sound from here on in. Apologize for must have been a lot of wind blowing in the mic prior to this, and very little audio coming through. A lot of dust from that sawdust today, and I'm right downwind here, so I'm not sure if I'm going to stay in this particular spot.
3 real good showmen in the ring today. For my first showman, I was talking to him all about some just key little things. If everybody's on the ring side that is going to be showing, some things I watch for is how the halter's held, as far as if it's matted. The other thing is just check your clips. It's a key little thing. Make sure animals are clean all the way through their tail and their ears. So if you're on the ring side, make sure your ears are clean and everything is clean about them. The first girl I was just talking to, they all just need to work with their animals just a little bit more. This is a hard time of the year to get going with their animals because they've been outside and it's been winter and they haven't had the time to work with them and they've been in school. But they all need to work with their animals just a little bit better to keep them a little bit more under control and to keep those animals looking the best that they possibly can and get those animals set up the best they can. But for girl in first, I put in first just because she watched me a little bit more than the boy in second. She paid more attention, she had more control over her animal and had her animal set up the best. I did tell her to just keep the tail clean. There is still some manure in the tail, but she did a real good job watching me and working with me in the ring.
This This is our first escape that we've ever had here.
I'll just get this class out quick. And a boy in second. Again, he had probably the cleanest animal, but he just needs a washer a couple more times to get the dandruff out of her. Pay attention more to me in the ring. He wasn't paying attention. He didn't get his animal looking the best at all the time he could. The girl in third, she just needs to work with her animal a little bit more and get the animal a little bit cleaner through the ears and through the legs, but she did a real nice job. Congratulations to all of you.
We've had our first escape. And the question becomes, what do we do now? This never happened to Homer Bushy. We just might spend the day following this heifer around here. She is looking for a way home. We have a whole posse rounded up. Where'd she go? There she is. We have a whole posse rounded up. The kids from the elementary school are enjoying this.
Are the kids here and the parents here?
Novice showmanship enter ring.
The novice showmanship coming up, but first we have to continue with this saga. And we see one person walking up. You don't need a lot of people chasing a cow because they'll panic. Whoops, whoops, she's got a lot of energy here. Hopefully she won't go out into the middle of the highway. She's not near the highway right now. She's at the opposite end of the grounds here, but I'm surprised this is actually our first escapee that we've ever had.
Class complete.
Because you got some relatively small people trying to control some very powerful animals out there. But do you see how these people are approaching quietly, calmly? That's the only way to get control of the heifer. You gotta calmly approach. Don't want to panic her, get her all excited. Just approach slowly. And she says, nope. Nope, I don't want to go there. I'm not sure if these beef animals have been indoors all winter or they've been outside, but I remember from my days on a farm. Oops, there she goes, coming through the dugouts. Hopefully nobody's going to get hurt in this. Now running down toward the softball field. The heifers, when you let them out in the spring, they'd run out and kick their legs and run into the American wire fence. They had no idea what a fence was. This could get a little scary here. She's now starting to move down the softball field, and the only thing between her and Route 11 is distance right now. This could... somebody has trying to get in front of her, at least to turn her back. I'm surprised more people haven't come out to help here. She is running alongside Not familiar with that particular area. And so we're going to lose sight of her here. But we will let you know what the results were. I think she's going to head out for Route 11, and anything is possible out if that happens. Meanwhile, we're here for the showmanship here. This is novice Ashley Hart and Ethan Musso are the presenters. Whoops. And we're reading their names. The camera shot up. This would be Ethan Musso, and this would be Ashley Hart. Now this is this is what I would have if I were out there. Something I can tug on and coax in the right direction. This is novice showmanship. These are beef cattle showmanship classes. Ashley Hart and Ethan Musso. I didn't get the name of the winner in a previous class because I was busy chasing that heifer with the camera. Okay, we have found out who won the senior showmanship. It was Shelby Pombrio, with Tyler Pombrio finishing second and Carly Sorrell in third, and that's Carly Sorrell's animal that is still roaming the fields here at Northern Adirondack.
In our second class of novice showman today, we have two different types of animals here and two different types of levels for the animals. This younger calf is a real challenge for this young lady that I got in second place.
Let's watch the
She didn't quite
judge.
get her skills today because the calf's not cooperating. It's such a young calf, but she did do a really good job for her the skill level of the calf. The boy at first, just really could tell that he's worked with his calf. He and that calf work really well together. They've been along together a long time. He was telling me he's been working with her since birth, and you can tell that. But he moves real smooth on the halter with this calf. He's got her really clean. He just needs to get a little bit more cleanliness to the ears and get the hair clipped out of the one ear. He only did half of one ear, but did a real nice job and watched me most of the time. The girl in second, just get the calf a little bit cleaner. The calf, as it gets a little older, I said I'll probably work with her just a little bit better, but the calf is real young to see the skills that she has today. But they both did a real nice job. Let's give them a round of applause.
All right. The winner is Ethan Musso. Ashley Hart finishing second. And I believe this is the lady who's now in charge here of the FFA. We'll try to talk to her before the day is over. She's trying to run her first show. The calf isn't going to cooperate. At least this one here ain't going to run away. If it does, it can be tackled. She's trying to run her first ever dairy show here and has an escape.
And first and second place of senior showmanship, please enter ring.
Alright, they're going to get the beef. They're going to get the beef first and second place out here. Third place, the only third place finish for the day so far is out in the woods here. Once somebody gets a hand on the strap, the little halter, the leash that they've got on her, she'll probably come quietly, but just a matter of getting close enough to do that. The posse is out there. They may have a barbecue before the night's over here. Not sure where the nearest fence is once you get back into that area. That's where the posse is right now. Alright, next is
complete.
as we said, the top finishers. There were only 2 in the novice, so they're both back in there. And the top 2 in the senior showman. So one of these will get the master showman, and one will get second place, first and second place in the master showman. Chances are it'll be the 2 senior showmen, but you never know. That's what makes this such an exciting event. You never know. And I'm still trying to dodge the dust here. And we're right in the cattle crossing zone. No matter which direction I get, that's the direction the sawdust comes. Never had the sawdust problems before here.
They've actually fixed her halter. She's been paying attention real well to me. Her heifer's behaving much better for her in this class. But I like that when they come back and they make the changes that I've asked them to do
Shelby
as we've gone through the show. But she did a real nice job. But the novice boy, I do like the way he handles that calf and the way the calf handles for him. But he just doesn't have quite the experience and the knowledge at this time to go over this young lady that won the senior showmanship class. So congratulations to her on a job well done.
Sounds like the novice boy might get second place. Alright, that's the beef cattle showmanship.
In this first breed class with a junior calf, a real nice job, real hard
report
to
from the
tell at this
posse
time
is
how
that
what she's going to turn out to be. But you like the confirmation,
that heifer
you like her
is
being
out
light
there.
She has under, and you like the muscling that's starting to come up in the rump area. Real nice calf.
Has broken through a couple of fences, ran over a couple of fences, and is out there somewhere. What is this? We had somebody. Oh, this is beef cattle judging here.
Junior yearling, please enter.
Okay, they're doing beef cattle judging now. We're here for the showmanship. We're not here for the cattle, so we'll find out how quickly before the showmanship continues. But in the meantime, that heifer is out there and broken through a couple of fences, so you could end up in Cherubusco, or time will only tell. They offer games for the kids too. We see the tug of war. We see a ever popular bag race.
In our senior yearling beef class, got a real nice heifer here. She's got showing a lot of muscling, a lot of size to her today. Just like to widen her out on her pins just a little.
Cows and calves and heifers and bulls aren't the only animals here. There's a pony that's getting a lot of attention. There are several horses that are here. And other small animals inside will be going in there shortly.
She's showing a lot more width as far as in her China loin. Things like to change.
There's a larger horse over here.
The second one has the advantage in the width all the way through the rear end. But I like the way the first place heifer had it tracks on her rear legs and carries her rear legs underneath her. It's a little bit better than the heifer in second. Congratulations, both of you.
The students are relatively calm considering all the excitement of today. They just go through in lines. This is a regular school day here at Northern Adirondack, except there's nothing regular about this, of course, but it is a school day, and students remarkably calm and reserved and seem to enjoy the opportunity to get out and don't seem to abuse it. Whoops, we got one down here. We're about to start the next portion of the program. It is the novice showmanship, dairy cattle showmanship classes. The participants are scheduled, these are 10 to 12-year-olds, not 10 and 12-year-olds. Imagine there might be an 11-year-old in there somewhere, but these are novice. So that means their first showing, 10 to 12. So since there are no other novice listed in the dairy, it must mean that 10 and 12 is the first opportunity they have to show. Bethany Drown, Michelle Silver, Abigail Spinner, Kristen Normandin, and Jonathan Lajway are due to participate. And once again, being the only guy, someone being the only guy, makes it easy to figure out this is Jonathan Lajway. Who Bethany Drown, Michelle Silver, Abigail Spinner, and Kristen Normandin are, I do not know, but they are among these four young ladies here.
What's going on, man?
I prefer the view from the wide side of the tent rather than the end of the tent here, because there's less viewing room. However, the sawdust just seems to drift right into us there, and
Class complete.
besides the dust going onto the camera, it's also going into my lungs, and that doesn't do much for my asthma. In fact, that's why last year, for the first time in 15 or 16 years, I did not cover the dairy show at the county fair, either one, the FFA or the 4-H, because it's just too darn dusty in that barn for me. Every year I leave there and then I'm sick for a week after. You got time to talk to us? You seem to be afraid of that. That calf's going to run away. Why would you be afraid of that?
Well, we just want a successful show and no animals scared and kids upset, and we just want a good day and thank the Lord we've got the nice sunny day and heat and
beautiful day weather-wise.
You can't ask for anything better.
Your name?
Katrina Ellis. I'm the new ag teacher here at the NAC school. So
This is called a baptism of fire here with a heifer running away in your first show of the day.
well, everything went real well, but we still, it'll still be a good day. I just hope and that we can get this calf back and we'll have a good day, and nobody, the good thing is nobody's gotten hurt,
Yeah. Fortunately, they kept her away from the Route 11 because I could just see her running out in front of a car.
That's right. We don't want that. We don't want that. These kids work too hard for something like that to happen. We have a great show going on. We got a good show going on. Kids work real hard. They've been by me all week long, or actually all year long, trying to actually, do well and get all this up and running. And I really thank the kids for all their hard work.
Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Philadelphia, New York, with my parents, and they're down at the other end of the tent. And I was able to get this job back in August, and I moved up here and knew nobody, but here I am, and it's been a good year. Been a busy year, but a good year.
Okay, Philadelphia. Is that in St. Lawrence County? Where is that?
Jefferson County.
County.
Yep. And I
Below
grew.
St. Lawrence?
Yep. And I grew up on a dairy farm, and I showed Ashers and Shorthorns, and was in 4-H and FFA, and pretty much anything that was involved with agriculture, I was involved with. So
you grew up on a farm?
yes, I did. Yep. We had approximately 40 milk cows when I was in high school, and a few, young stock, and I always, did the daily chores and helped on the farm and that sort of thing. So agriculture has really been in my background.
Okay, this your first assignment? This you're just out of college?
Yep, I'm just out of college. I graduated back in December of 2003, and didn't really think I'd get a job this quick, but I'm fortunate, and I'm happy enough to be here, and it's been a good year, very busy year, but a good year. So.
Okay, you've stepped into a very successful program here, and I imagine in most cases that makes it a little easier.
That does, and especially because of the help from my alumni, I wouldn't be able to do really what we have done without the support of either the community, the support of the school, and of my alumni. And the alumni are basically parents of the students that I have, or they are also people that have, actually been through NAC schools FFA program and have came back, and that makes a world of difference. It really does. That we have this program here, and then the support of that.
Okay, well, we appreciate you taking a few minutes. You've got a hectic day here.
Well, it'll all go well, especially since there's no rain, but I appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
I wouldn't miss this. All right, thanks. All right, Miss Ellis, the new head honcho here at the Ag program at Northern Adirondack. Tara Taylor, as I recall, was her predecessor, and she was here for a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3. And before that, a fellow named Homer Miller, Homer Bushy, not Homer Miller. I was watching Reggie Miller all this morning. His final basketball game was last night, so I got Millers on the brain here. But it's Homer Bushy. And Homer is here somewhere, and maybe we'll be able to talk to him before all is said and done, too. Judge will talk to everyone out there, and he wants to know what they know about their animal, not just what day of the week it is. He wants to question them a little bit about their animal, what they've done to prepare for this animal, if they know when it was born. And we might ask who the parents are of the animal. All kinds of things, just to question them to see how much they know about their animal. This is a showmanship contest here. This is not the animals themselves being judged. It's how the kids show the animal. So this is not the judging of the animal, because obviously it's very important, if you're going to show an animal, that you do it so that it looks its best. So you show a calf different than you would a yearling, and you show a yearling different than you would a cow. So he's lining them up.
As we have learned from the past experience, it doesn't necessarily mean that he has decided. Many judges will line them up and check to see if they continue to pay attention. You got your animal lined up there, it should be lined up properly. Even though he's there chatting with you, it should be lined up properly. He is still judging, even though it doesn't look that way. He is still judging, and it's still time for him to change his mind. And of course, when you're out there in the ring, you're supposed to keep your eye on the judge at all times. There comes another class quietly. Look how well behaved they are here. Quietly going by. It's going to be an exciting day for these kids. So they're always very well behaved and subdued as far as coming out here and enjoying the sunshine and the festivities. Four Ashiers and a Holstein. This might be part of the new posse going out there to find that heifer that hasn't been seen since she disappeared into the woods.
Guys, go and check the picking line.
She's got a leash on her. She could get that strap caught. Normally you'd expect her to bell her if that happens so you can spot her, but sometimes they don't do that. They might bell her for a little while, then shut right up. $10, 11, and 12-year-olds. Novice.
I'm getting out of here.
Judges lined him up again. Now, whether this is his final lineup, only he knows. Looks like he's ready to spread the word.
Let's give this first class novice showman a round of applause. Did an awesome job. I went through and I talked with all the kids about different things and different challenges that they had and different reasons why they did it. I was talking to them about why we do showmanship and why it's so important. I asked all the kids, and any of the kids on the sideline, I'll ask you as we get through the classes is, what are the problems with your animal? What do you like and what don't you like? Know some of your faults of your animals. They all have faults, know them. That's part of showmanship. You've got to be able to show the faults out of the animal. And I was talking to the kids about that, and they knew a lot of it. All right, so that's just a key thing. Look at your animal and find out some of the different faults. The girl in first, she just did an awesome job. If you want to go ahead and lead out. She has that animal under control. It's extremely clean, heads up at all times. She did a great job grooming it, cleaning it all the way through. She smiled the whole time through and just really was very pleasant, very easygoing on that halter with this calf. The girl in second, again, just like to clean that animal just up a little bit more. It's got a little bit more stays on it than the animal in first. That was a real close placing. Just the animal in first just was a little bit cleaner all the way through as far as the tail and the hocks and the leg region. The girl in third, again, did a great job. Just caught her a few times on having that animal set up to the best of its ability and looking the best it possibly could. The girl in fourth, again, she did a nice job watching me. The animal needs to be worked with a little bit more and cooperate just a little bit more. As far as the legs, keep the legs and the knees cleaner. The boy in fifth, Again, nice job as far as watching me. He needs to have the animal set up better at all times and watching me, and a little bit better job grooming the animal. But he did a nice job, and he did a lot of it himself. I'm real proud of him for doing that. Nice job, all of you. Congratulations.
I will try to listen in and hear what order. Hi, Martha.
It's out and added.
Everything crossed out in the new revised edition. All right. Thank you very much. All right. We got Martha K.A. telling us that she ordered the weather here just to keep me out of the rain. We're listening to see if they'll announce the names of the winners here.
Junior
Here we go.
showmanship, enter ring.
Are they going to announce the winners of the novice? Junior showmanship will be up next. They'll include Allison Goss, Brittany Varon, Brandon Tremblay, Shelby Pombrio, and Lauren Musso. These are 13 and 14-year-olds. And that's the people doing the showing, not the calves. Is that a Swiss? I don't know if that's a brown Swiss. Kind of a grayish color.
Class complete.
If these are all 13 and 14-year-olds, some of these guys must have lied about their age. Okay, we have gotten the list of finishers. And I'm back in the dust zone here, back in the dust bowl. Bethany Drown was number 1 in the novice. Michelle Silver, number 2. Kristen Normandin, number 3. Abigail Spinner, number 4. And Jonathan Lajway, number 5. That was the 11 and 12-year-old novice. Wow, look at this little twister of a little mini tornado here of sawdust.
Carly Sorrell's not going to be here because her cow ran away.
Carly Sorrell is barred from ever showing again because her cow ran away. Carly Sorrell will not be in the senior showmanship. She's probably too upset. She's not really barred. I just said that just to see if she'd agree with me. Carly Sorrell, her beef animal ran away, so she will not be competing in the next category. And that's probably because she's just a little upset with the whole thing. It probably, something like that could ruin your whole day. Now we noticed one of the differences between number 1 and 2 in that novice category was the cleanliness of the animal. And if you're choosing an animal, if you get a white one, you've got a tougher time getting an animal clean. You can hide a lot more on an animal that's dark in color. Particularly I think the reddish ones, because the color, you see the color of the knee here, it's kind of a brownish color. You can hide that a little bit better on one of these red animals. It shows up real bad on the white, and it'll also show up on the black, because we all know things show up on black too. You get one little piece of lint on you and you're wearing something black and it stands out. So the reddish animals, when they're competing in this type of a thing, have I think a little advantage as far as cleanliness. You can get away with a little bit more if you've got a red animal than if you've got a white one. and even the black one. He lined them up. Now he's moving them around again. Judge will line them up for many reasons. Of course, one would be just to see how they look side by side.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just pick me. I won't be easy that way. I'm going in there. In there. What?
Whoa.
Bye, Rachel.
For some reason, it's a day for cows to act up here.
I told everybody.
She's still managing to smile. Whoops. That heifer just is not going to cooperate.
How come? Oh, never mind. Like, how come you weren't in Shellfish?
My hardest part of taping these is trying to remember which kids I've shown, which kids I haven't shown. I try to give them all a little bit of FaceTime on the camera here. Well, that's the reason we're here. We're not here to look at the heifers and calves and cows. We're here to show the kids doing something important and positive in their lives. For people who've never seen me before, this is what I look like. This is me with my camera. It's hard to get a picture of myself like that. We once again have them lined up. Not a time to relax.
I would have followed him, there would have I can't, I gotta go in with your and she already knows.
Judge is ready to offer his verdict.
In our junior showman, we have 5 great individuals that all work hard through this whole class. I worked them a little harder than the last class, and as we get going, I'll work you a little harder, so the older kids watch out. The first girl, I really liked the way she paid attention to me. She was watching me at all times. She had that animal alerted all the time, and just really paid attention, was just watching me a little bit more than the rest of the kids. The girl in second and the boy in third, they were both extremely close. I switched them at the last minute. The boy in third, I was talking to him a little bit. I walked around, and he just lost total contact with me and wasn't really paying attention to where I was, and he lost his heifer. He just kind of was paying attention to what was going around. But that's the only thing I really said between the two of them. But the boy in third, again, his animal's not quite as clean. That was the other thing. The boy in third over the girl in fourth just paid attention more to me, smiled during the ring, had his animal looking the best that he possibly could at all times over the girl in fourth. The girl in fourth just needed to pay attention to me a little bit more. Her heifer is extremely clean, which I like, and the girl in fifth just needs to work a little bit harder with her calf, a little bit more with her calf, but they all did a great job, especially for the girl in fifth. As she came in, she learned and she really adapted to what I was telling her, and I like that. As you're going through the ring, and if I make suggestions, go ahead and do them and see how it works for you. And she did do that, so congratulations and great job.
As soon as we know who's who, we'll pass it along. First, second, they'll be back, the first and second, third, fifth, and fourth. 13 and 14-year-olds.
Complete.
We have the next group under the big top. We'll tell you who is scheduled here for the 15-year-olds.
Senior showmanship, 16 through 18-year-olds on deck.
These are, let's see, 5 names here, and I've got 1 crossed off. So I'm going to have to find out what the status is here. We've got 5 people in the ring, and I had 5 names, but 1 crossed off. So I'll have to find out who is out here. So before I do that, I'll tell you who won the 13 and 14-year-olds. First place was Brittany Varon. Second place was Shelby Pombrio. Third place, Brandon Trombley. In fourth was Lauren Musso. And in fifth was Allison Goss. All right, Carly Sorrell is in the ring after all. She had been crossed off our list, but she has decided to enter. This group includes Rebecca Spinner, Beth Trombley, Miranda Kaye, and Emily Lajoie. I know who Miranda is, and I now know who Carly is. I'm going to go out on a limb. This looks like a Lajoie hair. So that would leave Trombley and Spinner. Having them switch animals, and you do this to see if somebody will show somebody else's animal better. From what I've gathered over the years, the main reason to do this is you want to, since this part here is the showmanship, which is judging the shower, not the animal. When you get to the older groups like this, you want to make sure that if they've got an animal that's looking good out there, that it's the showman that's responsible for it. So you give everybody a different animal and see just how good a showman they are. You know, somebody might have an outstanding animal and look good out there through no fault of their own. So you mix things up a little bit because you're judging. He's talking to them now, so he's probably asking them the strengths and weaknesses. Oops. We don't need another runaway. This cow here probably wouldn't be quite so hard to catch. She's got a full udder. She's probably a little uncomfortable. Look out for that peg behind you. She's probably a little uncomfortable here. It's way past milking time. So he talks to them to ask them what they think about the animal that they're presently showing, which isn't their animal. The strengths and weaknesses of that particular animal. Hello. Hello, did you want to be on TV? No? Okay. Kind of looked that way. Caught in a line of fire here. Now, let's see. I think they're switching again here. I think these are... are they going back to their... I think they're going back to their originals. And you always check to make sure the animal is set up properly. Judges like it when you walk around the heifer or the calf or the cow. Give it a once over. Even if you don't know what you're doing, if you look like you know what you're doing, that'll get you points with the judge. And of course, as you go around the ring, you got one eye on your animal and one eye on the judge. So it helps if you're cross-eyed. And of course, should your cow get tired, it's always a good idea to wake her up. Now they're switching. He's going to give somebody else a chance to wrestle with that one.
I walked all the way back there. I know we went to. We're walking about 20 to 30 feet apart.
And of course, showing a calf is a lot different than showing a cow.
It's on the 4-wheel path. By the miles, she's either over here or over there. She's always going to come back. No, I know. Chasing cows. And Eddie is still out there. He lost one. No. We went across the field. Way over.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's
It's very forward.
Looks like they're back with their original animals again. Oop.
Eddie went this way. He's still over there. Under the dog. He all went over here.
All the big sales, they have some kind of gimmick.
Oh yeah, they had her right there. I want a soda, but I don't want to wait in line that long just for a soda.
Another decision that the judge has to make is that how many blues to give, even though...
In our next showmanship class, these guys all did a real good job with their animals. I did work them a little harder switching their animals, and that's really where they distinguish themselves from the next person above them. All right, the girl I have in first, she wants to go ahead and lead out. One of the few things I said to her was just holding her halter a little differently, and when she switched to animals, don't touch the animal you switch to. Go quickly, look at her, and move on. When you go back to your own animal, you should move it really fast. You already know the faults of her, you should be able to go quickly. The girl in second, again, she was moving right on up. When I switched her to the cow, she did a great job setting that cow up, getting her looking the best she possibly could. The one thing I did say to her is her heifer, just every once in a while, she'd let her heifer fall asleep on her. But she needs to keep that animal awake. The girl in third, just like to get that animal a little bit cleaner, get the stains off her. It is a tough challenge to do. You just need to work a little harder to do that and get the hair all the way down to the bottom of her feet. She's still got long hair down there. Get that hair off her. It'll make her look better and cleaner all the way through. The girl with the red heifer did a great job. She did start falling asleep towards the end, and she had a challenge with this heifer. The heifer was behaving in the middle, but the other part she was just being a little bit stubborn. But when I switched her to the cow, she wasn't paying attention, didn't have that cow set up. But she did a really nice job with her heifer, working with her when she wasn't working correctly with her and setting her up. The girl in fifth, again, a nice job. Their animal's extremely clean all the way through. The tail's clean, ears clean, the hooves are clean. Just needs to get that animal set up quicker and faster. But all great job. Congratulations.
All right, we'll listen in, see if they'll announce who they were. Next category coming up will be senior showmanship.
Senior showmanship, 16 through 18-year-olds enter ring.
And these will be 16 to 18-year-olds.
Showmanship class, Miranda K.A. received first, Emily Lasley received second, Rebecca Spinner with third, Beth Trombley with fourth, and Carly Sorrell with fifth.
Okay, you just heard the winners in order of finish. This group includes, obviously not in the order they're entering the show ring, but this group includes Lauren Carter, Cassandra Nichols, Danielle McNeil, Amanda Sorrell, Michael Coons, Nathan LaValle, Brian Coons, and Jenna McNeil. These are 16 to 18-year-olds. So these are the veterans. It's the largest class, 2, 4, 6, 8 of them, and they've all got pretty big animals, so it's going to get crowded under the big top. It's going to get crowded. A point I was about to make in that prior category, just before the judge started talking, was that in addition to first, second, third, and so on, he also has to decide how many blues to give out, if any. You could have a first place winner and not be good enough to get a blue ribbon. In the case of that prior,
All first place animals from showmanship, please be on deck.
in the case of that prior category, there were three blue ribbons.
If you have a lost cell phone, we have it in the announcing booth.
The first three finishers, that's K.A., Lajway, and Spinner, all got blue ribbons. So even though you finish third, you can still get a blue ribbon. And we've seen times when everybody got a blue ribbon, and we've seen rare occasion when nobody got a blue ribbon. Okay, the judge has expanded the ring here. He says, I can't look at these animals when they're all on top of each other, so he has expanded the ring. He has brought the ring out from under the big top all the way around there. Having them change animals. And you heard him, he was giving out the ribbons in the previous category. Here's an animal that looks so clean, but it's the curse of the white animal. Once you get back here to the back area, you just can't get these stains out. These cows have been in a barn and they get stained up, particularly if they don't go outdoors at all. But if they do go outdoors, then once you get into this time of the year, you start letting them out, then a show later on in the year, they might have time to clean up a little bit. But that last year right there, I am sure, not behind this guy here, that Danielle McNeil's got, I'm sure that last year is going to get some points off for cleanliness, as will this Holstein right here. Anytime you got an animal with a lot of white, you've got a lot of work to try to get that animal looking clean. Now this one here is a nice shiny animal with a good straight back. Cooling off right now. The sun is behind a cloud and wind picking up, and temperature feels about 10 degrees cooler all of a sudden. This will be the last category. We'll have one more after this. At least one more. I don't think they'll have competition between the beef cattle showman and the dairy cattle showman, because some of them are the same people. So this is the senior showman, 16 to 18-year-olds. After this category is completed, they'll get the first and second from the novice, junior showman, senior showman 15, and the senior showman 16 and 18 that are out here right now. Get those 8 finishers back out here, and we'll have a master showmanship ribbon to be handed out. As I said, trying to remember who we've shown and who we haven't. Oh, he's got this Holstein cow lined up first here, but this cow's got some flaws. And I don't think they're back with their original animals yet. This could be the coloring, but it looks to me like it's dirt up here. So I don't think he's got them lined up for the final time because, first of all, I don't think they're with the original animals at this point. Eight of them, and there'll be 8 to come out for the master showmanship. This is all pure judgment. This is not like a referee or an umpire where it's safe or you're out, or a foul or no foul. This is all pure judgment. And if you had this many animals out here, 8, and you had 3 different judges, chances are you could end up with 3 different finishes, 3 different ways to finish them. It's not always clear cut. Judge lets little things decide the final factor. This cow is a nice straight-backed Holstein up there. Marvin Misek did inform us before he left that beef heifer that escaped belonged to his son. He joined us late. There's an escaped heifer out in the woods here, somewhere between Ellenberg Corners and Clinton Mills, making its way north toward the border. It escaped from the show. It was getting 3rd place in a 3-place race, and it got mad and left. Just took off and hasn't been seen since it went into the woods. Just line them up again, but I just can't believe that these people would be with their original animals, because there we go. I know the McNeils are Ashier people. Now he's switching over here. Jenna's coming over here to another Holstein. Look out. Got a Baki Ashier over there. Whoever wins this is going to earn it. Alright, more time has elapsed. Looks like he's got the Holsteins lined up here. He's telling the kids what they did right, what they did wrong. Looks like the Holsteins are going to take the first two spots.
Let's give these guys a round of applause. I worked them really hard, especially these first 4. I was just talking to them all about what they need to change and what they need to do different. These first 4, as I was lining up and I was pulling them out, I just worked them a little harder and worked them a little longer. I worked them a little harder and got to see what they saw. I also tested their knowledge. All right, they were all close in the showmanship. They were all close as far as setting up their animals. But I asked them the simple things that they should know. It's, what are the parts of the back? Chine, loin, rump. None of them could point it out to me. All right, they need to know the parts of the animal. They need to know the scorecard when they get into this level. The difference between the girl in first and the boy in second is when I switched them to the heifers. The boy in second did not quite have that white heifer looking the best that he possibly could. The girl in first did have the black heifer looking. That was the difference. That was that nitpicky. The girl between third and fourth, the same thing. The girl in fourth, when I switched her to the cow, she didn't quite pay attention. She didn't have that cow set up one time. That made the difference between the two. The first four were extremely close, different day, different placing possibly. The girl in fifth just needs to get that animal working a little bit better. Needed to pay attention to me a little bit more. Needs to really work on watching me and working with your animal just a little bit more. The girl in the sixth, again, work with your animal a little more. Pay attention to me. When I move you to the other animals, know the other animal and set that animal up to the best. The boy in seventh, work with your animal. The animal just does not lead well. The animal is extremely clean. And when I switched it, the animal worked a little bit better for the other person. Maybe not needs to let up on the halter just a little bit. The boy in eighth, again, a very clean animal. Just hold the head up and did a nice job. Congratulations to everyone.
I should have paid more attention when I went out there, but the McNeil girls had Holsteins out there. Or maybe they're black Ashiers, which I've never heard of. But who knows? They've got red Holsteins, so why can't they have black Ashiers? But the McNeil girls had Holsteins today. The first two winners will come out here, and we'll try to bring you that part, and that'll wrap up the dairy portion of this program. All right, all the first and second place finishers will come in for this portion. We've been busy getting the finishing of the last group, and they're already done this group here. So, and instead of having the first and second place winners, what they did is just brought out the first place finishers, and they're going to give a novice or a junior showman champion.
Let's give our four winners from the classes a round of applause.
Senior showman champion.
For our junior master showman, I'm going to go with our novice individual. Our novice with the Asher Caffel will come on up. She had a real tough competition for her novice class. When I switched them to the cow, she made that cow just look a little bit better. She had the head up higher than our junior showman. She did an awesome job. Round of applause for her.
All right, so Bethany Drown with a big upset win here.
For our senior master showman, I'm going to go with our super senior.
Lauren
she wants
Carter.
to come on around with her cow.
Lauren Carter.
She had an extremely tough class. Taking nothing away from the other senior showman, she just had that class. She showed her ability, she had it in there, and she worked hard all the way through. She came back out with the same skills and the same knowledge when she went in there. But a great job to both of you, a junior and a senior master showman. Congratulations to everyone.
All right. So it was Bethany Drown over Brittany Varon, and Lauren Carter over Miranda K.A. And it sounded like he was using things that happened in the prior show out there instead of what's happened this time in the ring, and that's not usually the way it's done. It's this trip into the ring that counts, not what they did in the prior show.
Our dairy cattle
the senior showmanship
classes will be starting.
The order of finish
spring
was
heifer calf Holstein
Lauren Carter,
enter ring.
Nathan Lavalle, Jenna McNeil, Danielle McNeil, Amanda Sorrell, Cassandra Nichols, Ryan Coons, and Michael Coons. That was the order of finish. And of course, there's more than just kids here from the school. There's a lot of toddlers.
Winter heifer calf Asher on deck.
So that'll conclude our dairy portion. We're going to spend just a few minutes looking at the small animals. I assume the ladies in the cafeteria get the day off today, or if they don't, they they have a slow day because the booth that sells the burgers and stuff is always busy, and they got a big lineup right now. And who could blame them? Hamburgers $1.25, cheeseburger $1.50.
All winter heifer calves.
All your basic necessities there. Even sell airheads, whatever those are. So they're lined up About 400 feet deep here trying to get to the concession stand. Our first stop is a very popular spot here, the goats. Not really a good place for us to view them because they are so popular, but here's a display of goats. There's a slight display of machinery here. Case IH, Cub Cadet, and Kubota. I would guess that Jack Dragoon and group are responsible for this. The bell is ringing. Kids have got classes to get to. It's around noontime, and there's a heck of a crew here. We're not going to be able to get inside at this point to look at those small animals. So that means we're going to have to wrap it up. There's just too much of a crowd here. This is a highly popular event, as you can all see. So our congratulations to NAC FFA and Miss Ellis for a very successful show. And they only lost one heifer all day long so far, so hopefully that heifer will show up and not roam out in the middle of the road and cause an accident. It's roaming around out there somewhere. There are a couple of pasture areas nearby, one on each side of us. So with any luck, if it does come out of the woods, it will migrate toward the other cows. So that's it. It's slightly afternoon on this 20th day of May. It's a Friday, 2005 at the Northern Adirondack School Fair. Thanks for watching. And for those of you supporting Hometown Cable, viewer-supported local television, and we want to thank our viewers who care enough about this programming to send in their contributions. It's the only way we're able to be here, because a few people care. People like the KAs. They're probably our most recent renewed patrons up here in the Ellenburg area, and we appreciate Martha and Gary and Cassie and Miranda's support every year. Once again, thanks for watching, for those of you supporting our efforts.